Hey there, Sharon here, and welcome back to Quiet Ambitions. So I am working on transplanting out my beets today. Now, this is an unusual statement because I have never had to transplant my beets because I always just direct sowed them in the garden. But I'm all about experimenting in the garden, and so watch some YouTube videos about some people who actually seed their beets indoors, and then as seedlings they go ahead and they transplant them out. The theory is it's easy to thin them when you've done them inside, and then you can just transplant them out and get them exactly where they want. Beets and carrots are both kind of notorious for they're really small and it's hard to get them spaced kind of correctly, so you end up having to do a lot of thinning. This is supposed to eliminate that. So this year I planted beets two ways. One, I went ahead and did my usual out in the garden, and then I'm doing my little experiment. So what I did is I used an egg carton, and I went ahead and I seeded beets in here. I just used potting soil. You want to make sure that you poke holes in the bottom of each little pocket of your egg carton, and then I cut the lid off and I used the lid as my tray. Started this indoors, and it's been out here in my garden, and I'm going to go ahead and get them transplanted out. Now when I seeded these, I was shooting for 3 seeds per little pocket, and I still got more than that in some places. So I'm going to go ahead and thin it now before I take it out to the garden, and then all I got to do is just plunk each one of these little cubes, egg pockets, I don't know what you call it, into the garden in the ground right where I want them. So let me get a close-up here and I will show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so here's my seedlings. So I'm just going to look at each little section and see this first one here. I can see I've actually got 5 little beets in there. That's too many. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull out those 2. And I'm going to pull out one of these because they're really close. Now these 2, I'm going to go ahead and leave in there and let them grow just like that. Beets also, apparently, I've always been really careful about getting, one individual beet separate. And I'm reading that they actually will grow in clusters just fine. 2 beets, 3 beets at the most. You want to keep them separated. So I'm just going to go ahead and just do that all the way through. This has already got 3. This has 3. This has 3. Oh, this one here has more. So let me go ahead and just, these are some 2 little small ones here. So I'm going to pull the small ones. And let me pull that one too. And I'm just going to work my way through my whole container here. What I'm looking for is anything that's the smaller beets. Those are the ones I'm going to pull. The larger ones I will leave. And this is way easier than getting out in the garden and trying to do this. Now I haven't fully decided yet if I like this method, but so far I kind of do. We'll see how the beets actually do. Pull that one out. That one's got way too many. Okay, that was easy. Now I'm going to take that out to the garden, and we're just going to plant each little individual section out in a row in the garden. Okay, so this is turning out to be just a little tricky. One thing I'm noticing, they're actually, I say it's tricky, but actually they've been really easy to plant. I did notice that I need something to get it up out of the egg carton, and a spoon seems to work really well. So all I do is I scoop that out, and then I'm going to plant that little plug just like it is. One thing I'm noticing is the roots of these beets are already kind of wrapping around. So if I do this again, or if you do this, definitely don't use an egg carton. You need deeper little pots. They are plenty big around, but they're definitely not deep enough. I don't know how the beet is going to do when its roots are wrapped around like that. We may have some deformed beets, but we're going to go ahead and get them planted, and we're going to see what happens. In the next week or 2, I will compare them size-wise and see, whoops, where am I at here? Right there. And see how they compare to the regular, just seeded right in the ground roots, or beets. Okay, so let me get the rest of these in here. Yeah, that one's kind of falling apart. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but you know what? I am all about experimenting in the garden. I don't mind experimenting at all. I think it's kind of fun. As you guys know, I teach canning also, and I say never experiment with canning. But in the garden, you're good. You can try whatever you want to try. Because honestly, different methods are going to work different for different people. Okay, so there's the last one. All right. Now, let me grab the camera here, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to see if I can get a close-up here. These are so tiny. And then I'll show you what my in-the-ground beets look like, and they're much, much bigger. Okay, so this is what my little beets look like that I just planted from the egg cartons. And then just over here is where I have beets planted also. I've got onions in the middle and then beets in a row along here. And you will see, if I can get the shadow out of there, they're much bigger. But they also need to be thinned because like that's way too much in one spot. So just need to go through and pull some of those out. I guess I need to be more careful. There, see there's two together, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that like that. And I'm going to just start at this end, work my way clear down to there, and then I have another row over there that I need to do. So anyway, if you want to follow along and see what my beet experiment does, just go ahead and like and subscribe. Okay, you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. There's my duckies. In fact, I may throw them some beet scraps here. Little beet seedling snack. Bye-bye.